Now at 6, yet another measles exposure incident in Oregon, this time at a southeast Portland Safeway. Why health experts say they are seeing such a big uptick in cases this year. Coming up in a live report. Plus,
how you treat your fans, how long it takes to get in the building, what the food tastes like. All these things are important, and I probably think about them more than most.
This morning we're hearing from the Blazers' first new owner in nearly 40 years. More on Tom Dundon's plans to usher in a new era for Rip City ahead. And getting your kids a baby chick for Easter might seem like a cute idea, but Oregon health officials warn it can actually make you sick. Why they say kids are at an especially high risk for getting salmonella from live poultry, coming up as your news at sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green. Chris McGinnis and Corey are standing by for a look at your weather and traffic. Thank you both for being here on this Friday. So much
least
love.
I could do.
Thank you so much.
Good morning to everyone. Hey, it is a frosty first Friday of April for a lot of us, and check this out. That is the light of the waning full moon from Oregon's Veterans Home in the Dalles, and if you look really closely there, you can actually see the tippy top of Mount Hood there. So bright, almost full moon there, and chilly as well. 37 right now in the Dalles. Our Wells Fargo sky camera is showing some breaks in the clouds over downtown. It's 39 at PDX, but elsewhere, we have some really chilly temperatures this morning, hence the frost advisory for parts of the area. Actually, a freeze warning for eastern Marion, Lynn, and portions of Benton and Lane counties as well. And for good reason. We're down to 35 now in Hillsborough, 36 in Sherwood. And you say, well, that's not frosty, but those temperatures are taken at 6 feet off the ground. So on a clear, calm morning, the temperatures down on the surface where the frost forms could be down near freezing. In fact, McMinnville is at 32 degrees at last check. Corvallis sits at 33. So a little patchy to scattered frost this morning. Maybe some mid-level clouds coming in at mid-morning, and then we clear it out this afternoon with temperatures inching into the lower 60s. Warmer today and much warmer this weekend. I've got the details on that in just a few minutes. Corey?
Yeah, good morning, Chris. We are off to a great start out on the roadway. Our map really sitting in the green across the board, and interstates really reflecting that from our live cameras right now. You can see the Banfield. This is eastbound at 28th Avenue near Northeast Sandy Boulevard, moving along quite nicely. This is a fuller view of that stretch at this hour. And then another look for you, I-5 at Morrison Bridge. No delays there. Starting to really see some cars pick up just a touch on that last view I showed you, but not the case on Sunset Boulevard at Jefferson currently. A look at your drive times right now, sitting in the green across many stretches. Wilsonville Road to the 405 sitting just over 15 minutes. China.
Thank you, Corey.
I want my daughter to call me. I want my daughter to tell me she's okay, and I really need to hear her voice.
This morning, we're hearing from a mother whose daughter went missing along Highway 22 near Staten last weekend. Police say Maria Kilmer of Independence ran out of gas on her way back to Salem and contacted her stepmother and sister. But before they arrived, the 28-year-old apparently got into an SUV that stopped to help and then drove away. Kilmer left behind her phone, her purse, and the passenger in her vehicle, something her mother calls unusual and troubling.
There's no way she'd let us sit here and worry like this. She would call me. She would check in. It's like I'm living a nightmare.
Kilmer is 5'8" and often wears black clothing. If you see her or know anything, contact Oregon State Police. The man accused of kidnapping a Salem 11-year-old outside her home last August has been convicted of all charges, including kidnapping and attempted rape. Authorities say Elijah Arce lured the girl away from her home, and neighbors found them about a quarter-mile away in an area concealed by shrubbery. Surveillance video here showing the moment police took him into custody. The girl was not physically harmed. All right, now to Rip City. The Trailblazers' new owner sitting courtside at Moda last night after his official introduction to Rip City. Texas billionaire Tom Dundon and others in the ownership group are looking to shake things up. Orlando Sanchez was there as the team ushered in a new era.
It's a new era in Rip City.
That was fun and probably necessary, but it's more fun to win.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, someone other than the Allen family is running the show.
They've created this legacy that now, with a little love and care, maybe we can keep making better and better.
The Portland Trailblazers have a new ownership group, led by Texas billionaire Tom Dundon.
How you treat your fans, how long it takes to get in the building, what the food tastes like. All these things are important, and I probably think about them more than most.
Winning was a common theme for the day. But the Blazers' long-term future in Portland has been the main subject since the team was put up for sale.
When I bought the hockey team, everybody, because I was from Texas, I was going to move the team to Houston. It's all I ever heard about, but I never spent any time on that subject. And I haven't spent any time on anything other than trying to figure out the renovation and the lease, and it's kind of all I've focused on.
Dundon says he desperately wants to get started on renovations and was asked about the funding for a Moda Center upgrade.
The people that represent the city and the county and your tax dollars are going to do a deal that's great for them, I hope, and then I'm going to try to do the same for the Trailblazers. I think we've got a good framework and we're moving forward on it, but we're just going to get a market deal and we're going to be fully committed to it. But how the form and structure of that is, there's a lot of work to do to figure out what that is.
The ownership group was dubbed Rip City Rising by alternate Governor Sheil Tile, who calls Portland home, living in Portland for the past couple of years.
We called it Rip City Rising, and that was a unanimous decision all of us made. And it was because we believe Portland was a world-class city, and it can again be a world-class city, and then potentially ascend beyond that.
And it's off to a hot start. Just ask alternate Governor Andrew Chern.
As a new owner, we're 1-0, so let's keep it that way.
I think it's as bad as it could possibly be right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, some Blazer fans aren't thrilled about the plan to renovate Moda using public dollars. One fan put together a website filled with research that shows stadium subsidies typically benefit wealthy sports team owners at the expense of taxpayers. He analyzed other NBA arena deals and listed what Portland should demand, including private investment from the new ownership group, a share of the Moda Center naming rights, and some level of rent or revenue sharing.
It's pretty simple, right? It's like, do we want to spend $1 billion on an arena where we get none of the money back? Or do we want to spend that money on other things that Oregon needs, like better transit issues that are happening in Portland parks? We need to fix our education system.
He also thinks that any threats the team may leave Portland are bluffs. While the state has committed around $350 million, the city and county need to chip in order to secure the funding. Well, measles cases are on the rise across Oregon. Already this year, there has been 15 reported measles cases statewide. And yesterday, OHA released a new warning of an exposure at a Safeway in southeast Portland. That's where we find Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz this morning. So, Thomas, what are health authorities saying about this?
Yeah, China, look, they confirmed that a measles exposure happened at this Safeway right behind us over a 4-day period, with possible exposure happening March 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. Now, so far statewide, we've had 15 reported cases, though OHA authorities say the real number is likely far higher. Now, OHA tests state wastewater to determine if there's measles in the wastewater. Dr. Dean Seidlinger, a state epidemiologist for the Oregon Health Authority, says they've detected measles in counties that haven't reported any cases. On Monday, another measles case was reported at the Providence Portland Medical Center Emergency Department waiting room. On Thursday, OHA announced a couple more exposures in West Linn and Gresham. In Oregon, Seidlinger says 90% of parents are fully vaccinating children by the time they enter kindergarten. But to prevent the spread of measles, OHA says at least 95% of the population needs to be vaccinated. And unfortunately, Seidlinger says vaccination rates are going in the wrong direction.
So that if you are someone who's not doesn't have protection from measles, who hasn't received your vaccines, and you spend time in a room with someone who has measles, or in a room where someone may have left that room in the last 2 hours, you are very likely in the 80-90% chance of getting measles.
Seidlinger says anyone with questions about vaccines should contact their doctor or medical provider. He also says that the American Academy of Pediatrics has a great outline of the benefits of vaccines on their website, as well as why the measles vaccine is safe. China.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live this morning. Thank you, Thomas. With Easter coming up on Sunday, the Oregon Health Authority is warning families not to give baby chicken, ducklings, or other live poultry as holiday gifts. They say bringing one of these animals in your home brings with it the risk of salmonella infection, especially among young children. Health officials say young kids are more vulnerable because of how they interact with the animals, often hugging or kissing them. According to OHA in Oregon, there have been 5 outbreaks of salmonella linked to baby chicks since 2020, affecting at least 55 people. About half of those cases involve children under 18. All right, headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at weather. What are we looking at?
Well, we're looking at the moon. This is actually from the Reserve Golf Course and Vineyard. Our Explorer Tualatin Valley sky camera is showing a little broken cloud cover has kind of obscured our look at the waning moon out there. And the cloud cover actually, if you are waking up to clouds, you're probably not as cold. But that said, it's 35 right now in Aloha. Contrast that with the pre-sunrise shot here from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's 39 right now at PDX with some broken cloud cover. A frost advisory remains in effect for parts of the metro area, not including Vancouver and Portland, but you get outside. We're down to 37 Beaverton, 35 Hillsborough, Sherwood 35, and down to the south now, McMinnville has slipped down to 32 degrees. So a frosty cold morning, chilly for a lot of us. As we mentioned, that frost advisory in effect until 10 o'clock. We'll shed that pretty quickly. And then we've got a good-looking forecast on the way for later today. Here's a look at the satellite radar loop. There are some sprinkles showing up just offshore here of Clatsop County. I don't think any of that works its way to the Willamette Valley, the I-5 corridor, but the cloud cover from that may. In fact, we're already starting to see that. So we'll probably see some clouds here mid-morning through about noontime. And then as we go to the afternoon, we'll shed the cloud cover. It will become mostly sunny and warmer than yesterday. We topped out in the upper 50s yesterday. Today we shoot for about 62 in Kelso and Portland and Salem, 63 Albany and east of the Cascades. After a pretty breezy day yesterday out towards the Dalles and the Arlington area, the wind subsides for you and you'll be in the mid-60s. So good looking day there, and we get warmer from there. Check that out. 3 days in the 70s heading into the first weekend of April and Easter weekend, Easter Sunday. The record high for Sunday is 77. And that's our forecast. So some really warm stuff coming our way this weekend. China, back to you.
Thank you, Chris.